I gotta shuffle my cards. So just hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay. Energy. This one is about somebody who's so complex and so energetic that don't try to figure them out. Don't try to study this person because you're gonna graduate. Mm-hmm. You know, you're at a point now where it's the right time, or soon will be, you know, for things to come together for you. Basically, you know, for the things that you believe in, all the things you're passionate about. Excuse me. But you've been waiting a while for it. Like, you waiting a long time to bring, you know, to bring to life, or just watch it grow into fruition, like the Seven of Pentacles. You just, you know, waiting for your harvest to crop. So I feel like the Most High is saying, like, it's good news is coming, and it's at the right time, you know, for things to fall into place. There's no perfect time like the present. And you know, like, I feel like it's gonna like hit you in a way where it's like, pinch me to let me know it's real. Because you needed much. It took patience, it took care, it took effort, it took the most work is establishing patience. For anybody who is a patient person, know what I'm talking about. That takes time. It's frustrating. You have very dark, like heavy moments when you're trying to establish patience in your life, in your experience. But it gives you like a quiet inner confidence and a sense of knowing that your life has evolved, you know, in a deeper way, in a deeper, to a deeper level. So I got this message. Sometimes because I know we'll be together, I take you for granted. Is this you, sweetheart? And when I say is this you, sweetheart, I'm talking to myself. Is that you? That's what you want to say? Because you're a very compassionate, real Queen of Cups, real loving person, but let's be for real. Like, you've been through some real heavy stuff too, you know, where it shaped your character to be, you end up being a Queen of Cups, you know, but you've been through some pretty dark times yourself. Let's talk about it. You have to set boundaries, you know. You have to set a threshold of protection to protect your honor. And how you did that is through prayer and appreciation, reverent appreciation. And what the prayer did for you, the purpose of it is the power of self-love. It establishes self-love. And to have self-love, you have to have God's love. You have to move through prayer. You have to move in silence too. Because the spiritual journey, the purpose of it is to attune you, you know, to sharpen your vision, to show up as a better friend, to be a better supporter, you know, to come in unity, to play well, just have fun. You know, there's a death and rebirth. That Scorpio energy. You went through some really. This experience, this shamanic journey, has taken you through some real. It took you from darkness to light. So what you learned in your subconscious is where the hostilities, you know, conflict and unrest, the inability to rest, and you weren't going to rest until you tackled these issues. So let's get to know the person. Okay, I have to shuffle my cards because my camera holder is missing a screw. How the heck did I do that? I don't know. Okay, give me a minute. Malachite. I'm using crystals to describe my character, you guys. And I'm going to be using the Muse Tarot deck because that's female empowerment. See, my sun sign is in planet Mars. And the premonition I got a few months back, it had to be like 4 months back, where it said you're going to move from planet Mars and you're going to move to Venus. So what that tells me is you're going to stop operating in your masculine energy. You're going to learn to balance yourself and start moving, get to know your feminine energy. Learn how to operate through your feminine energy, because that's just not your makeup. It hasn't been your makeup as an adult. So being in my Venus energy over the course of these past 4 months, let me tell you what I learned. It's more empowering than you think. And society tries to like shape us or convince us as women, even men, because we all carry both energies, that we have to minimize our feminine energy and just be super hard and masculine. And it's no defense for me. And as a person who practices religion, you know, you don't just have like spiritual talent. I'm also a person who practices religion. I know that there's no defense for femininity. God tells you that. Like nothing weakens the man like femininity. I see that. So you have the Hierophant, the spiritual journey. The Hierophant, it does represent tradition. It represents family. It represents marriage. It represents looking up to a higher power. Somebody who's a guru. Somebody who's a leader of the community, like an imam, a preacher, or somebody. But in this case, this is long term, especially when it's in the upright. This is long term. This is stability. This is being a guru in what you do. But this is becoming an expert in your spirit. Your spiritual journey is making you an expert in your supernatural abilities. Whatever your extraordinary raw talent is, this spiritual journey is teaching you how to be more abundant and how to be how to turn your talent into a business. You can do that. You don't have to do that, but you can. But it's teaching you things about yourself. It's like basic training. Like when you go to the military, you go through basic training first, right? Well, you take your test. You test to make sure you're even qualified to be in there. And then you go through basic training. So in the spiritual journey, this spiritual journey is shaping your talents and establishing a higher velocity of work ethic. That's what I get from the Hierophant. But then I also have a twin flame deck that's paired with it. Like the personal deck that I'm using is the Modern Witch Tarot, the Hierophant deck, and that has a woman. It has a man and a woman looking up to a guru, like a woman. Like it could be a mom, it could be a teacher. I feel like it's a spiritual teacher, like somebody who's a spiritual guidance counselor, like a guidance counselor. And she's teaching these people about the shamanic journey and then what the twin flame journey, what the purpose of it is, and it's not all romance. And I have my twin flame deck next to that card, and it says, sometimes because I know we will be together, I take you for granted. Which is arrogant. I'm not gonna lie. That's very arrogant. So I feel like this is somebody that you're going to look up to, and I take it as it can even be God himself that you look up to, that you're seeking counsel because you don't always understand the things that you experience and through this journey or through that particular journey. And even if you're not somebody who's considered a twin flame or wants to even get into twin flames, period, you're just somebody on a spiritual journey. A lot of it you do alone. And I got the Nine of Pentacles here. To end it, the Nine of Pentacles is single. Somebody who's abundant by themselves. That's somebody, and you put that under the Hierophant. It has 2 keys on the illustration of the Hierophant card. So that's somebody who's an intellect, who can own a degree both in the spiritual realm as well as the practical realm, like a college degree, for example. Somebody who's educated. You have a college degree, you have education. Extended education beyond grade school. But to pull all this together, it's meant for you to shine. You have transitioned. You have evolved. You went through a lot of darkness, and now the light is shining on you as a person, and you transformed. You're not a caterpillar no more. You're a butterfly. And that's not an easy process. It's super difficult for a caterpillar to transform into a butterfly. I also have my spirit junkie cards here. I'm going to show the cards in a second because I'm going to show you the crystals as I read them. But I'm shuffling and laying these cards out. First, as a spirit junkie, every cell in my body is conscious and communicates with each positive thought I have. So it's like one person is, I don't know, with this twin flame journey, I feel like it's a lot. You get the push pull part of it, the runner chaser. So like the person who's running at this point, because I think the tables turned. One of them was running, the divine feminine, and I think in this case the divine feminine is the man, and the divine masculine was the woman. But through her spiritual journey, she stopped operating from Mars. You know, Mars is an action taker, you know, somebody who's free, independent, you know, liberated. And she had to learn how to go in her feminine energy, her Venus energy. So I think initially the roles were reversed, and now the woman is finding her way into her feminine energy, so she can assume the role of the divine feminine. Nice. See what I mean? My twin flame deck. And I think that's her. Because I think through this journey, through the darkness part of it, she went back into her masculine energy. Because she had to respect herself, basically, and take accountability for what she wasn't going to tolerate, you know, and it wasn't going to let anybody affect her progress. So I think this reading really talks about the woman. Who is this person? Like, who are you? These are the stones that's going to describe her that I shuffled before I started. And these are some of the cards I'm going to be using. Every cell is my body. Every cell in my body is conscious and communicates with each positive thought I have. This person don't care what she say out her mouth. Like her masculine energy. You see how she has a butterfly on her head? Shine on, like she's illuminated. And she's traveled through the depths. If you look at the illustration, she's traveled through the depths of many places. Looks like a map behind her. She's been through a lot. And her hair still managed to stay intact, and she's still got a smile on her face. Now she's a butterfly. And she's fertile. You see the eggs? She has abundant ideas, especially with that Nine of Pentacles right there. Look, she's free. She freed herself. She beat the odds. This could be a high-level soulmate, too, that she might have a sit-down with or something. But I really just feel like it's her spiritual journey, and she's meeting other people that are like her. So for her, it's like she's never been a big relationship person. That's why she's the one that's saying this. And I feel like at first, looking at the illustration, I feel like that might have been her. But in actuality, when you look at this card, you put it all together, out of everything I just said, how she just transformed from a caterpillar to a butterfly, she's now the guru. She went from the student to the teacher. She graduated. You know, so sometimes I know we will be together. I take you for granted. Because she left this whole connection behind to go pursue becoming a teacher and not being the student. So the first stone is malachite. Malachite. We'll describe her. Let's describe her as a eccentric rock star seed. Malachite it represents cleansing trauma, intensity, and transformation. You learn your skills. You know you have some spiritual abilities, but you learn just what they are in this journey. So malachite takes no prisoners, at least with your spiritual journey. A powerful conduit for energy. Malachite cleanses the emotional body of trauma, whether from this life or a past life. A teacher of emotional responsibility. Malachite asks that you take accountability for your feelings and helps you release patterns that no longer serve you, and look deep within the worlds and patterns of malachite to access other dimensions of your life. or within yourself. Where did I get your life from? You know, you explore different timelines and hidden messages and bring your subconscious to light. So, okay. Strong. You're starting off very strong. What's the next one? Lepidolite. Transition, release, change. You know, this is the perfect crystal to help with those transitions. By becoming aware of bad habits and patterns, we can release them to make room for new ones that sustain a healthy lifestyle. And this particular crystal lets go of attachments. It teaches us how to get rid of old behaviors and addictions, clearing away emotional ties to the stories we tell ourselves. And it encourages a lot of self-love on all levels, even if we need to step away from our current way of doing things to establish that trust. And you write the story you want to live. So that's what I mean, how that's very strong characteristic traits that she's embodying. And this is really, the crystals are really just describing the work that she put in to get to be the teacher. You know, what does she have to do? The next one is blue lace agates, peace, gentle new beginnings. You know, this is a supportive nudge in the right direction, whispering words of encouragement. What did I just say about positive affirmation? There you go. And it's blue just like it. Okay, let's keep reading. You know, whispering words of encouragement when you experience self-doubt. That dark night, you know, it opens your throat chakra and helps ease any blockages in your self-expression. You know, you being seen and heard as a priority. Your feelings are valid and important too. So don't worry about what other people will think. You know, release all fear of judgment and get ready to leave any thoughts of inadequacy behind. Every day is a fresh beginning. What's the next one? Beautiful, right? That's pretty. That would be a real pretty ring. Garnet, sexuality, life force, intensity. This is sexual healing in its highest form. Garnet is a stone of love, passion, and devotion. You know, removing blocks to the desires of the heart. You know, you're stepping into your sexual power and embrace your body, removing all judgments that stand in the way of you and your pleasure. So when used in tandem, like with tantric sex, it can heighten the experience, attracting partners that can help heal sexual trauma. And Garnet helps identify and illuminate self-sabotaging behaviors, expanding your connection to your mind, body, and spirit. Deep, very deep. I told you not to try to study her, because you're not going to graduate. She come with a lot. Cinnabar, manifestation, wealth, inspiration. This is the alchemist stone. You know, it's used to enhance metaphysical abilities, calling in abundance, and manifest your heart's desire. You know, this was originated from the Persian word meaning dragon's blood, refers to the tiny red gems sprinkled across the stone. Sorry, my hand just jumped. The nerves in my hand just jumped. The crystal is powerful in enhancing your life force, giving you the stamina you need to carry out your task and go after the things that can feel larger than life. So Cinnabar grounds and encourages you while you reach beyond what you believe was possible. So you are no longer playing small. You are not letting any sexual traumas oppress you. And that is not just, that can be anything from childhood, like sexual abuse traumas that stem from childhood. Partners who just tried to misuse you for sex. Like you healed all of that. Okay? What is that? The Garnet. Cinnabar, peace, gentle beginnings. Like you're ready. You had to leave. It makes sense why you will feel like this. Sometimes because I know we will be together. Because you couldn't take. It's like you knew you had somewhere to be. You knew you had stuff to heal. And as anybody who's an addict of any kind, or has addiction, you know, an addict basically of any kind. And it's not always about narcotics and alcohol or sex or anything like that, but it's really just, you could be prone to codependencies, you know, bad relationships, bad friendships, even bad companionships within your blood, the bloodline of your family, like just generational curses. Like you are called to like cease and desist a lot of traumas that stem through generations of your family. That's why you come off so strong like that. And this is why. This kind of describes how the eccentric rock star seed has evolved. And now, how did you turn into somebody like that? Because it's not as simple as saying, oh, I just did the work. Yeah, but how? These stones just really just describe a lot of experiences that you've overcome, that you've worked through, that you understand the mission, and you went through it. So you had to leave this partnership behind to get to it, to practice, but with any addict, everybody knows that dark night of the soul, you got to stand 10 toes in it. You can't have partnerships and this person as a support system, that person as a support system. You have to do the work by yourself. That's what makes it difficult. And now that you did that, look at you now. That's strong. You're very strong, but what makes you so strong now is that it's feminine energy. The Hierophant is Taurian energy, who's ruled by Venus. And it goes back to what I said as the premonition I received months ago. Get out of Mars energy, you're going to move in Venus energy. And my Venus is in Libra, which is still an Empress. Both Taurus and Libra is Empress. So either way you want to put it, this is somebody who is a lover, abundant. You're just as, you didn't know that you would be 3 times as powerful. Honestly, I'm hearing 5 times as powerful as you always knew you were in your masculine energy, because your sun sign is ruled by Mars. That's an emperor, period. So that's Aries or Scorpio, right? You always knew your power there. You always thrived off power. So it goes back to what God said, just because you say you're a believer doesn't mean I'm not going to push you through a test. And you got the spiritual journey going for you. You got a good thing going for you. So now I'm going to make you just as strong. It's like a basketball player, for example. I'm going to make you just as strong in your Venus, in your feminine energy, as you are in your masculine energy. So it's so easy for you to just practice being masculine, being in your masculine energy, and not you want to be a man. It's just you're such a leader, an action taker. But just because you're in your feminine energy, it does not mean you cannot lead the community. The community needs that feminine energy, that energy in receiving, that compassion, that nurturing energy for the people, because everybody is so emotionally imbalanced. And that's why it draws your partner into you like that, with that nurturing ability. And it also makes them a little irresponsible the longer you sit with them. So you had to leave to get stronger. And it also pulls him to get stronger over time. Innovation, new creations, telepathy, transmission, perception, communication, clarity, planning, releasing illusions, building your world, creation, expansion, networking, divine masculine, active power. So what I'm taking from this is, now that you did that work and you've become the guru, now it's time to put all your skills into practice. It's time to show up for your masculine, or anybody who is a masculine, right? Because he's able to do that now, because he's not assuming a feminine role, because you were in your masculine energy. Now you're in that feminine energy. It inspires him and entices him to go and assume the role he's supposed to be in, which is taking accountability. That's what a divine masculine does. A masculine energy is someone who takes the lead in accountability. And you're teaching him how to do that through nurturing and nurture, compassion, acceptance, empathy, humor, within the right context, so he's able to receive it. Because you can't teach him how to receive anything from you as a masculine. Masculines don't receive, they take action. Feminines receive. But it doesn't mean you're just sitting still. Clearly you're not sitting still. Look at you, sitting on your throne, passionate. It makes that fire light more in you. That's why she's wearing red. I don't know why, but I see a masculine coming to you with a partner and asking you for your expertise, not out of malicious intent, but out of respect. Damn, that's love. out of respect. So it may not meant for you, it may not be, you might not have meant to be arrogant with this message. Sometimes I know we'll be together because I know that I take you for granted. Like, don't just assume that you're meant to be with your partner, you know, but you are raising your partner up. I feel like that's a part of your purpose. That's why you're so abundant on your own. Like, you have to go and become abundant. You have to go heal and grow into the person who can be a hierophant, a leader of the community, a teacher, to be able to attract a true divine masculine. You know, as a mother, it's very important to main, like, when you want to, even when you're feeling frustrated, to get your message across in a positive way, because men don't process their emotions the way women do. They hold it in like it don't hurt, but it takes them longer to bounce back from hurt feelings, emotional bruising. And I feel like that's why this card is here. That's why I feel like this card is here too. Shine on. Like, you are the mother you knew you had. You clearly knew you had. Now you are, more than ever. 40 is significant. Like, that's a mature age where you have enough life experience under your belt where you can be a teacher, as long as you accept the lesson, as long as you surrender. So I remember my first video was I was introducing myself as to how I even got into using the cards, but I always looked at the cards as a tool of psychotherapy. I never look at it in a way where it's magic. I always looked at myself as a person who was very inspirational, very influential. So magic in that context, where I am the magic. I don't have to use anything additional. So with that, you bring about a lot of harmony and balance, the balance of both energies, the masculine and the feminine energies. You didn't even think you were going to make it. There were plenty of times, many times, where you didn't feel like you should be doing this. Like, I survived a lot of conflict, new solutions, new beginnings. You know, you gotta balance out. It's a balance of both spiritual and practical energy. And then you have cracked open. Surrender. I had to surrender. You know, because that masculine energy is it's like fame. It was like fame for me. It was like a drug. It was hard for me to get out of that energy because it allowed me to have the first and final say in everything. And I created, it's like it stemmed from a lot of childhood traumas. If you look at those crystals that I just named and what they represent and what they help you through. And I feel like that was very creative of me to use the crystals to describe who I am. Like, I'm a gelato. Gelato is a bunch of different flavors, many different layers to a person, to me. So some people can know me for one thing, while this group of people can know me for something else. Without it being a mental instability. That's for the closed-minded to call it schizophrenia or multiple personality, whatever, with all these fancy terms for politics. No, you're just eccentric. You come with a lot of depth. Like, you're meant to be. All that education, you had to become something, some kind of teacher or guru. Like, you know too much. And once you know, you can't go back to not knowing. Look at that. It looks like a map behind her. Like, look at everything that she's been through. You have to be feminine energy and your feminine energy to be able to surrender. You know, but being in that masculine energy, it taught me how to be the leader I didn't feel like I had as a child. So I built this whole world up through this masculine energy under this mask to my conglomerate, that I only wanted to fixate on that part of me. I never wanted to learn my feminine energy. I never wanted to deal with it. In fact, I only dealt with it to the extent of my menstrual cycle, because you can't get around that part. And that's as feminine as it got for me. Ask my children. They feel like I'm their dad in ways where they like, I know you're my mom, but it feel like you're my dad. And I assumed that I took so much pride in being like that. But I had to learn. I learned though. I learned because you can't, it puts up blockages. It stops a man from coming in. And I did that on purpose. I'm not gonna lie. I did it on purpose for many years. I stayed single and abundant for many years. Now this is a different level of abundance, because now I do operate a lot more from my feminine. I actually enjoy the energy. I enjoy it. I think it pays to do that, or I wouldn't be able to go through with it. Devotion. Yeah, I have a loyalty, I have a relationship with my feminine energy now. Make your life a moving prayer. And these cards are pink. Like, I've been drawn to the color, this soft pink, a lot since being in that energy. I may color my hair this soft pink too, not for nothing. Just because. But that's me. This is me. And with being like this, being this leader, this new type of leader, I didn't think a feminine could be a leader. Being in feminine energy, let me say it correctly. I didn't feel like being in my feminine energy that I could be a leader, because being in the feminine energy is being more passive. And it's not as scary as I thought it was. It actually comes with a lot of power of its own. But that doesn't mean I wasn't connected to my sacral chakra neither. I'm very creative. I have children. But it never lasts long. That feminine energy, it goes right back into being a masculine energy. Like I became the man that I felt I deserved through the experience of being abandoned or disrespected by the men that were most important to me, that was supposed to play a very important role to me. So I became that man for myself. And I was married to myself for years, 20 plus years. Interesting. I didn't always think to call myself a starseed, but I knew I was spiritual. And I knew I was religious. The fact that they're right up under each other, right next to each other. Because, and then you got the card, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. That started with that masculine energy, but ended with being in the feminine energy of, how do I get the message across that you don't have to, just because you're religious doesn't mean you can't practice what your talents are. So if your talent, if you have psychic abilities, you can still practice them. God said, live life the way you want to, but just don't associate anything with me. So how do I teach people how to do that? And I had to go in that feminine energy to do it. And this is the path he led me down. It led me into that feminine energy. So I can tell y'all. So there will be more readings. That teaches it. That teaches, what I've learned from my point of view. And it's safe. Like, I used to be very defensive, and now I feel safe. I feel at peace. I feel tranquil. Because I did the work. I practiced. I learned It was hard. I practiced emotional healing. It's hard to surrender when you're going to naturally protect yourself from something that hurt you. But you have to alter your perspective. That's the last thing I'm going to say about it. You do have to take it one day at a time, one moment at a time, one prayer at a time, or once a lot at one time. That it is not going to make sense, none of it. But you got to do it, you know, because it's for your highest good. Like, if you know that God is not going to forsake you, you know, you walk by faith, not by sight. And through being in the feminine energy, it allowed me to be very patient. And patience is the best gift he could give you. So anyway, it's an ever-evolving experience. Like, it don't stop here. It's ever-evolving. So I plan on documenting it and sharing it and teaching it moving forward. I do get into therapy, psychotherapy, a lot, and that's just the perspective I speak on when reading intuitively or literally or tangibly. Okay. I think that's enough for right now.